In the quiet hum before sleep, have you ever wondered what lives inside you? Tiny beings, smaller than dreams, move softly through your body's landscape. They do not shout, but they build, clean, feed, and guard, caretakers in shadows. This isn't just your body, it's a home, a forest, a zoo of unseen life, and as you breathe, they breathe with you, a symphony beneath your skin. Close your eyes for a moment. Let your shoulders loosen, your jaw rest, your thoughts drift, like leaves on a slow stream. In this stillness, your body feels like a quiet house at night. Everything's settled, everything's sleeping. But inside this quiet, there is a secret world still humming. It is not a silence. It is a whisper beneath your skin, on your tongue, in the warm coils of your gut. Trillions of microscopic lives go on, untouched by your awareness. They are not you, but they live as part of you. They don't ask permission. They simply arrive, settle, and begin their ancient work. Imagine a forest hidden inside your chest. In that forest, the trees are made of cells, and the wind is your breath. Between the roots and the shadows, life stirs. Tiny creatures move in silence. Some of them have lived with you since the moment you were born. Others arrived on a breeze, from a handshake, a kiss, a meal. They built a world inside your world, a place with laws and alliances, feasts and feuds. They are the microbiome, though they'd never call themselves that. You might picture them as dots, or blobs, or specks too small to see. But that would miss their poetry. You're more like murmurs in the bloodstream, flickers on the skin, lantern lights drifting through your digestive river. Are so many and so old and so diverse that no two people have the same collection. Your microbiome is as unique as your voice, your fingerprint, your dreams, and they do not float aimlessly. Each has a role. Some digest what you cannot. Others build vitamins in the dark, like tiny alchemists. Some stand guard, lining your gut like sentries at a city wall. Others are quiet artists, painting chemical signals that travel to your brain, shaping your mood, your sleep, perhaps even your sense of self. They are not invaders. They are not pests. They're companions, invisible but intimate. You don't direct them. You don't give them orders. Yet they listen to you all the same. They sense the food you choose, the stress you carry, the rhythms of your sleep and waking, and in response, they shift. Some bloom. Others retreat. Like wildflowers after rain, like dancers following the music of your choices, they are not always peaceful. Sometimes, in moments of illness or imbalance, their harmony fractures. An unwelcome guest may slip in. A helpful friend may vanish. This zoo inside you is not static. It grows, changes, evolves with you. A dose of antibiotics, a season of poor sleep, even the loneliness of stress, all of it shapes the ecology within. You may not feel it directly, but your body does. Your immune system, that vigilant dream catcher, is constantly watching, not to rid you of all microbes, but to manage them, to keep the peace. It learns who belongs and who doesn't. It remembers past trespassers and makes space for trusted allies. Like a gardener tending a wild garden, it prunes, feeds, and sometimes pulls the weeds. You too are part of this tending. When you eat a fiber-rich meal, you're not just nourishing yourself, you're feeding the helpful fermenters in your gut. When you spend time in nature, touch the earth, pet a dog, share a laugh, you're inviting microbial diversity into your life. When you sleep, when you rest, when you breathe deeply, you offer them the stability they need to thrive. It is not a one-way street. It never was. They give, and you give. They change, and you change. There is no hard boundary between you and them, only a gentle blur. What is you? What is other? Perhaps that line has always been softer than we thought. Imagine a concert, and your body the stage. Cells are the instruments. Hormones, the melodies. And the microbiome. They are the hidden harmonies, the background chorus, the subtle notes that make the music whole. You do not always hear them, but without them, the song would fall flat. They Do not sleep when you sleep. Even now, as your heartbeat slows and your mind drifts, they continue cycling, sorting, repairing, feeding. Some of them even follow your body's circadian rhythm, pulsing with the rhythm of dusk and dawn. Your sleep helps them heal, and in return, they help you sleep. The zoo is not a metaphor, it is real. It lives in you and as you, if you could. Shrink yourself down, enter your bloodstream like a boat on a river. You'd float past bustling colonies, shimmering with activity. You'd see biofilms clinging like moss to the walls of your gut. You'd pass clusters of friendly microbes chattering in chemical tongues. You might even witness a skirmish, a sudden surge of defenders warding off a threat. But from here, from the size you are now, all you can do is imagine. So you listen, you breathe, and you begin to wonder, what else do they do, these whispering guests? If they shape your health, your digestion, your immunity, could they shape your thoughts? 2. Could they touch the brain, that most private space? Could the forest in your belly speak to the stars in your mind? You feel the question rise like mist, and as you drift towards sleep, a quieter part of you leans in, ready to listen. Somewhere in the winding garden of your gut, signals begin to stir. They rise like dew, like scent, like soundless song. Not from your brain, but toward it. And in the dark warmth of your belly, a thought begins. That may not be entirely your own. Your belly is not empty. It is a lush, winding jungle of microscopic life. Each meal you eat, each moment you rest, shapes its quiet trails. Some creatures bloom like wildflowers after a summer rain, others fade. You are not alone in digestion. It's a feast shared with tiny gardeners, and deep in that darkness, something ancient grows in silence. There is a place inside you, warm and winding, that you rarely think about. It gurgles when you're hungry, quiets when you sleep, and holds the strange memory of every meal you've ever eaten.
Albert.
This place, your gut, is more than a digestive. Piped it is a garden, not a neat one, not rows of vegetables or manicured lawns. No, this garden is wild, a tangled living forest of microbes. There are billions upon billions of them, and they're not weeds. They are the life of the soil. They wait patiently in the shadows of your intestines, long coiled tunnels lit only by the warmth of your body. There's no sun here, no wind, and yet life blooms. These creatures feed not on light, but on what? You send them fibers, roots, skins, peels, and seeds, all the things you cannot digest. To you, they are scraps. To your gut's garden, they are treasure. And when they eat, they transform. Some microbes turn fiber into short-chain fatty acids, tiny energy notes that soothe your gut lining and reduce inflammation. Others build B vitamins, stitch together amino acids, and break down complex sugars that your own enzymes can't touch. Still others, the quiet caretakers, simply hold the balance. They keep things peaceful, crowded enough that trouble has no room to settle. You do not direct them. You do feed them. Every choice you make, a banana over a biscuit, a lentil over a lollipop, sends ripples into this inner jungle, and the garden listens. Imagine, you eat an apple. The sugars are absorbed early, quick, sweet fuel. But the fibers, they pass on, untouched by your own body, drifting gently into the colon. There, they are greeted not as waste, but as gift. Your gut bacteria wake. They nibble and ferment. They thrive. With each new meal, the makeup of your garden shifts. A slice of sourdough bread feeds one village. A handful of almonds calls forth another. Too much sugar, too little fiber, and the balance falters. Some microbes grow greedy. Others disappear like forgotten flowers in drought. And like any garden, it is sensitive to seasons, to stress, to sickness, to sleep. When you worry, when you rush meals, when antibiotics sweep through like fire, the garden suffers, but it can also regrow with patience, with kindness, with time. There's a rhythm to this place. You might never hear it, but your body does. It is the rhythm of digestion, of fermentation, slow blooming in the dark. In this garden, diversity is peace. The more varied the microbes, the more resilient the whole. So they balance each other, check each other, learn from each other. A monoculture is fragile. Okay, a wild forest, on the other hand, survives even storms. It is not just food that feeds them, but routine. They like when you eat at regular times, when you sleep deeply, when stress doesn't flood your system. They dislike chaos. And so your calm becomes their calm. Your rhythms become the sunlight they never see. Let yourself picture it. Your large intestine as a forest floor. The walls lined with mossy biofilms. Bacterial communities clustered. Like mushrooms, like coral, like stars. Some float, some cling. Some move in slow, purposeful waves. Each has a name. Names like bacteroids, Faecalibacterium, Akkermansia. But names are not the point. Not what matters is the symphony they make together. You don't need to know who they are to know what they do. They make you stronger. They help you absorb. They protect your inner linings. They keep out invaders not with force, but with fullness. They live where space is limited, and their presence keeps danger at bay. They're not heroes. Residents. And you are the landowner, the keeper of the terrain. Your gut is not a battleground. It is not a sterile hallway. It is a rich, microbial wilderness, pulsing, productive, poetic. Even now as you rest, digestion continues. Not in loud gurgles, but in soft microbial work. Tiny workers carrying out their unseen shift, making peace with each other and with you. And just as seeds take time to sprout, so too does a healthy microbiome take time to grow. You water it with fiber, you nurture it with sleep, you enrich it with diversity of food, of movement, of life. It is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong friendship. There is something humbling about this garden. You walk through your days, making decisions, chasing thoughts, but deep in your belly things, older than language, are growing. They do not speak in words, speak in chemistry, in molecules, in messages passed through cells, and sometimes they send signals upward, all the way to your brain. A thought flickers, a feeling shifts. Is it your gut speaking to your mind? Or your mind remembering the garden below? You're not just thinking, you are listening, and soon we'll follow that message. To the brain it touches before you spoke, before you breathed the world, you were touched. Not by hands, but by microbes, the first to meet you as you left the womb. From your mother's skin, milk, and breath, the zoo began to grow. They were the first to welcome you, shaping your health from your very first cry. And still they remember the moment they met you. Before your first breath, before the world ever touched your skin, you were curled in darkness, soft, warm, untouched. Your body was still a mystery, your senses still asleep. And yet something ancient was waiting for you. The moment of birth is not just a cry, a gasp, a heartbeat. It is an encounter. It is the beginning of your lifelong conversation with microbes. As you left the womb, the first world you met was alive. Your mother's body became a gentle storm, not of noise, not of light, but of living things too small to see. These microbes greeted you like an invisible chorus. They touched your face, your mouth, your skin. They nestled in the folds of your ears, the corners of your eyes. You didn't know them, but they knew what to do. Through birth, your first exposure to the outer world wasn't sterile. It was rich, wild, full of history. Millions of microbes passed from mother to child, not with words, but with skin. The journey continued with milk. Breastfeeding became a sacred transfer, not just of nutrition, but of bacteria. Each droplet carried complex sugars, designed not to feed you, but to feed the microbes inside you. That's how planned it was. Your mother's body didn't just nourish you. It fed your zoo. As days passed, the microbes multiplied. They claimed spaces, the gut, the tongue, the tiny folds of your hands. And as they settled in, they shaped your immune system, taught it the difference between friend and stranger, trained it in the gentle art of defense. Your body was not born knowing how to respond. It had to learn, and the teachers were microscopic. Some taught by calming inflammation, others by nudging certain immune cells awake. This dialogue between your cells and theirs has been going on since your very first day. Even the place you were born shaped your zoo. A vaginal birth brings microbes from the birth canal, while a cesarean offers microbes from skin and air. Both routes begin the story, but the characters introduced are different. The zoo takes shape according to what it meets, and those early days matter. They are like the foundation of a garden, the first seeds scattered in the soil. Later experiences may bring change, but the shape of your inner forest begins here. You grow, and they grow. You take your first bites of food, and with each one, a new shift begins. Your microbiome matures, adapts, becomes more complex. But those earliest guests, they never fully leave. Some of them may still be with you now, tucked in folds of your gut, quiet and loyal, like old friends who've known you since birth. Even the smells you find comforting, the scent of your mother's skin, the faint breath of milk and warmth. Those may be microbial too. They mark you, and you mark them. It's not just biology, it's intimacy. A partnership formed in the smallest of moments. Later in life, you might think your health began with diet or exercise or willpower, but long before those choices, you were shaped by touch, and that touch was microbial. You learned to breathe, and with each breath, more invisible guests arrived, carried by air, by whisper, by wind, and next will follow them into your lungs. Every breath carries travelers floating life, silent as fog. Your lungs are not sterile caves, they're windswept homes. Some microbes soothe the walls of your breathways like gentle caretakers. Others test your balance, waiting to tip the scales, and still the air keeps coming. It's filled with life you never see. Breathe in, hold it gently, now let it go. That single breath carried more than air. It brought in dust, vapor, fragments of sky, and passengers far smaller than sight. Each time you inhale, you open the gates. Air swirls down your throat, into the branching trees of your lungs, spreading life into the very spaces that help you live. But those branches, those bronchi and bronchioles, those soft pink pathways of breath, they are not barren. Your lungs, too, are inhabited. For years, scientists believed the lungs were sterile, clean, untouched, pristine. But silence is not emptiness. Stillness is not absence. Tiny organisms live here quietly, sparingly, a smaller zoo than in your gut, but a zoo nonetheless. Picture it. Your airways lined not only with cells, but with a soft misting of microbes. Living in balance with the flow, some are commuters carried in from the nose, washed down from the throat. Others are settlers, staying longer, finding a niche along the inner walls of your breathways, like birds nesting in the crooks of a tree they do not come to invade. Most are passive, peaceful, living in the liminal space between breath and body, and yet their presence matters. Your immune system watches them closely, not with fear but with curiosity. It samples the air, tastes the microbes, and learns again and again what belongs and what doesn't. This teaching happens constantly, silent and steady as your breath. In a healthy lung, the microbial community is quiet, diverse, but calm. Not too many, not too few, just enough to maintain balance. Some help keep inflammation low, sending signals to your immune system that say, all is well, no need to alarm. Others act as buffers, taking up space so that harmful bacteria cannot. They are like soft moss on a stone, subtle but protective. But the balance is delicate. When it tips during illness, or pollution, or prolonged antibiotic use, the wrong microbes may bloom. Infections, asthma. Even chronic lung diseases can begin as shifts in this invisible ecology. It's not the presence of microbes that's the threat. It's imbalance. Too many of the wrong kind, too few of the right. Think of your lungs as a mountain valley, air drifting in, life clustering in corners, watching, waiting. When the winds are clean and the slopes are stable, everything remains in peace. But when smoke comes, or viruses, or stress, the balance falters, and the guardians your immune cells have to act, even now. As you lie still, Each breath carries this gentle exchange. You offer your body to the world, and the world offers back its living dust. But your body is wise. It filters. It learns. Tiny hairs in your nose trap large particles. Mucus in your airways catches the rest, and the microbes that do make it past are met not with panic, but with discernment. Who are you? Your body asks. Friend, stranger, helper, harm? Most of the time, the answer is silence, the kind of silence that means peace, and so the lungs continue, drawing in. Always moving, always listening. Even your exhale carries life. Microbes leave with your breath, floating into the air around you, settling on pillows, being shared gently, invisibly, with those you love. It's intimate. It's unspoken. It's the way we connect, without even trying. You are not a sealed vessel. You are porous. You are open. You are in conversation with the world through every breath you take, and yet somehow you remain whole. Not because you keep everything out, but because you know how to host, how to sort, how to listen to what the wind brings. Last lines transition to chapter 5, and just beyond the breath. Where your skin meets the air, another. Boundary waits another habitat, another home. Let's go there next. To the quiet world, living just beneath your fingertips, your skin is not just yours. It is a velvet field of invisible grazers and guards. They sip your sweat, ride your oil, bask in your warmth. Some are fierce protectors, turning away harm before it finds your blood. Others wait quietly for a change in weather. And beneath your fingertips, a quiet city never sleeps. Touch your arm, just lightly. Feel the softness, the warmth, the surface you call you. But what you touch isn't only human, it's habitat. It's home. It's the outer edge of your tiny zoo. Your skin is not empty. It is a vast, living shield, a patchwork of ecosystems stretching across your body like a continent. Dry deserts between your fingers, damp jungles beneath your arms, salty shores along your forehead, plains across your back, and everywhere life. Not just your own cells, but microbes. Millions of them, perhaps billions, clinging, feeding, guarding. They live in folds and creases, in pores and follicles, on eyelashes and toes. They are part of your scent, your texture, your defense. You do not feel them, but they know you intimately. They know the rhythm of your sweat, the chemistry of your oils, the seasons of your stress. Some feed on sebum, that waxy balm your skin creates. Others feed on proteins from old skin flakes, quietly recycling what you shed. It's a circle, a miniature cycle of nourishment, where nothing is wasted and no one is truly alone. Most of these microbes are gentle, familiar, symbiotic. They keep each other in check. They keep outsiders out. They speak with your immune cells, not in panic, but in calm reminders. We are here. We belong. And your immune system listens. It scans, but it doesn't strike, because it knows the scent of your skin's residents. It has smelled them since birth. They are old neighbors, steady and quiet, but like any city, the skin can be disrupted. A cut invites chaos. Too much soap can wash away protectors. Antibacterial wipes, harsh and sweeping, can leave behind a blank slate where the wrong microbes might move in. Because here, as in the gut, balance is everything. Your skin doesn't need to be sterile. It needs to be supported. Clean, yes, but not scorched. Think of a garden wall, mossy and breathing. Scrub it too hard, and even the stone suffers. Let it grow wild, and vines may take over. But with care, gentle water, natural light, it flourishes. Your skin is like that, flourishing through quiet attention. Even now in sleep, your skin breathes. It cools, it shifts, it tingles with micro-dash movements, and your microbes stay with you, guarding against intruders, whispering to your cells. Maintaining the calm, they live differently in different places. On your forehead, oily lovers, feeding off the shine of your pores. On your feet, hardy survivors, weathering the pressure of your steps. Behind your ears, tender grazers, nestled in warmth and shadow. Some are permanent residents. Others come and go. Visitors from a doorknob, eh? Handshake, a gust of wind. You carry others with you, and you pick up new ones daily. Yet somehow your body knows which ones belong. You are not just one organism. You are a colony, a shared life woven through contact and memory. Even your scent is shaped by microbes. They transform your sweat into signals, your oils into fragrances. This is why everyone smells different. It's not just biology. It's microbial poetry. Sometimes this balance breaks. Stress alters your skin's chemistry. Hormones shift the population. Infections can flare when the gatekeepers are gone, but the city can be rebuilt. Microbes return, especially with kindness, a gentler soap, a moment in sunlight, a hand resting in the soil, because skin, like earth, responds to care. And microbes, like all creatures, return to where they're welcomed. Even touch, yes. Even the brush of a hand can restore balance. Touch shares microbes. From one person to another, you pass invisible helpers, as if saying, "Here, take. Some of mine, they've served me well." That's the quiet power of contact. It's not just affection. It's microbial generosity. And when you touch a tree, a dog, a garden, your skin listens. It samples the outside world, inviting small pieces in, a bit of forest, a bit of fur, a bit of the wild. And in return, your immune system learns it, becomes wiser, more tolerant, less reactive. Because to know the world, the body must meet the world, even through skin. But the skin is not the only communicator. Deep within your belly, where the microbes murmur and ferment, messages are already on their way upward, messages that rise toward the mind. Can your thoughts be shaped by creatures that don't even think? Through secret chemicals and quiet signals, your gut speaks to your brain. Mood, sleep, even dreams, all stirred by unseen voices. Your feelings might be made of more than memories, and tonight you feel it, the soft echo of minds within. You sit in silence. Your mind drifts. Feeling rises, soft, wordless, familiar. Where did it come from? A memory? A moment from earlier today? Or perhaps from deeper, from somewhere lower? From your gut. There's a river between your belly and your brain. It doesn't carry water, it carries messages, and the senders are microbes. They don't speak like we do. They have no mouths, no thoughts, no language. But they have chemistry. That chemistry speaks. Through molecules and metabolites. Through signals passed into nerves and blood. Your microbiome is whispering to your brain. It starts in the gut picture. Your intestines coiled and quiet, but busy. Microbes feast on fibers, break down foods, and as they do, they create tiny messengers. Short-chain fatty acids. Neurotransmitter mimics. Hormone-like signals. These aren't accidents. They are the words of a second brain, because your gut has its own nervous system, the enteric nervous system, a vast web of neurons woven through your digestive tract, sometimes called the second brain. Doesn't think, but it feels. It senses stretch, pain, warmth, satisfaction. It manages digestion, but it also connects with your emotions. And the microbes, they influence it. They tweak your hunger. They adjust your mood, even shape your sensitivity to pain, your cravings. Your sense of well-being your vagus nerve, a long, winding communicator carries these messages directly from gut to brain. It is a highway of sensation. The microbiome sends traffic down it every day. When things are in balance, you may feel calm, centered, emotionally steady. But when the gut is inflamed, when the microbial harmony is broken, your mind may feel it too. Anxiety, depression, fog, restlessness, all can rise from the belly. This doesn't mean the mind is helpless, or that microbes control your thoughts, but they do contribute. They are co-authors of your emotional landscape. Just as wind shapes the sea, they shape your inner weather, and like all weather, it changes. Think of the foods you eat, not just for energy, but for how they make you feel. A fermented meal, rich, with friendly bacteria, can soothe inflammation and improve mood. A fiber-rich meal can fuel microbes that promote calm. Even the timing of your meals affects this gut-brain. Dialogue, late-night snacks. They can disrupt the rhythm. Long fasting windows. They can shift microbial populations. Every choice sends a signal not just to your waistline but to your mind. And still, your microbes adapt. They learn your patterns. They work with what you give. And in return, they craft a feeling, not quite joy, not quite peace, but something close. When you feel off, when your thoughts are clouded, your gut may be calling for help. And when you laugh, when you rest easily, when your sleep comes soft and whole, your microbes rejoice. Even your dreams may carry their touch. Melatonin, serotonin, these sleep-linked molecules are shaped, in part by microbial hands. And so, as you drift towards sleep, the gut sends its lullabies upward in scentless waves of chemistry. Calming the mind like rain, the ancient idea of gut feeling was never just a metaphor. It was memory of a time before science could name the signals, of a time when instinct still listened. And even now, the gut knows what the mind forgets. That feeling isn't always born in thought. Sometimes it begins in the soil of your belly, in the quiet zoo beneath your ribs, where microbes murmur in molecules. So when your mood swells for no reason, when comfort blooms unbidden, pause and thank them. They are not human, but they are part of you, and they want you well. And when the night grows deep and your eyes begin to close, your zoo does. Not rested begins a shift, the quiet hours of the microbial night. When your eyes close and your world quiets, tiny zoo inside you stirs. Some microbes sleep when you do. Others begin their nightly shift. They clean, rebuild, signal, digest, all in rhythm with your resting breath. While you dream, they work. And in the stillness, your body and its guests remember how to heal. Night falls, your breath softens, your limbs grow still. From the outside, you appear to have paused, but deep inside, the world continues. Your microbiome does not sleep when you sleep. It shifts, just as owls rise and songbirds rest. Your microbial zoo has its own circadian rhythm, a quiet choreography, tuned to the sun and your slumber. Some microbes are diurnal. They flourish with your meals, bloom with activity, fade as the day winds down. Others are nocturnal. They wait patiently until your body enters rest. Then they rise. Cleaners and caretakers in the dark, in the warm coils of your gut, activity hums at midnight. Not loudly, but like a forest under moonlight, a soft rustling, a hidden movement, a cycle of renewal. This is when your body repairs. Tissues rebuild, inflammation fades, hormones rebalance, and your microbes help guide the way. Some produce metabolites that calm the nervous system, telling your cells it's time to rest. Let's begin. Others generate melatonin precursors. It's helping to deepen your sleep and anchor your dreams. They clean up after the day's digestion, breaking down what's left, absorbing nutrients you missed, even modulating immune signals so your body knows where to heal. Your gut, like a garden, is tended most gently at night, and your immune system, always alert, uses this time to listen more deeply. Which microbes are present? Which are multiplying too quickly? Where is the balance? Where is the need? It is during sleep that your immune memory sharpens. It decides whom to trust, whom to challenge, whom to remember, and your microbes are a part of that memory. Even your brain, which seems far from the gut, cleans itself during sleep, flushing toxins, resetting chemical levels, filtering thoughts, and again, the microbiome plays a role. Certain gut bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that travel through the bloodstream and reduce inflammation in the brain. It's a conversation, even in sleep. But sleep must be deep for the magic to unfold. Fragmented nights, racing thoughts, light pollution, they disrupt not just your rest, but the rhythms of your microbes. A zoo without rhythm becomes chaotic. Signals go out of tune. Processes fall behind, and the next day you may feel it. A mood just off, digestion delayed, sense of being half-rested. Your microbes notice, they prefer patterns. It's not perfection, just enough consistency to do their jobs well, so the best gift you offer them is your stillness. It's not just lying down but letting go. No screens, no rushing, no snacks. Just before midnight, just breath and darkness. In time, even the smallest changes help. A cup of chamomile, a walk at dusk, a moment of quiet gratitude before bed. These things don't just calm your mind, they calm your microbiome. They signal, it's safe now, begin the work of healing. And as you slip deeper into sleep, the zoo continues its gentle rituals. Some bacteria retreat into biofilms, little shelters they build to rest through the night. Others bloom. They help finish digestion, protect the gut lining, and whisper to the nervous system all is well. Their chemistry lingers, preparing you for tomorrow, for clarity, for resilience, for calm. You may never hear them. You may never see them. But they keep watch. Not because they love you. Not because they understand. But because this is what life does when it lives inside life. It harmonizes. It adapts. It keeps rhythm. Even in the dark. And when you rise in the morning, stretching into light, they rise with you, ready for the first bite. It's the first spark of the day, for what you eat next will feed more than just you. Each bite you take feeds more than your body. It shapes your inner world. Fiber becomes feast. Color becomes code. Variety becomes harmony. In return, your microbes craft nutrients, protect your gut, soothe your mood. This is not a meal. It's a quiet conversation. And every plate is a story you write together. Morning comes, light filters in, your body stirs. And somewhere in your belly, your microbes awaken to, not with eyes, not with dreams, but with hunger. Because just like you, they've been waiting for breakfast, but what they eat and how they feed, it's not the same as you. They don't crave coffee or toast. They crave the leftovers, the parts you can't digest. Fibers, resistant starches, plant skins and seeds to your body they pass through untouched. To your microbes, they are gold. Every fruit you slice, every leafy green, every whole grain or root, you feed your gut's wild garden. And in return, garden gives back. Your microbes break down these tough bits through fermentation, a quiet, bubbling process that releases warmth and nourishment. They create short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, acetate, propionate, names that sound complex, but work simply. They heal your gut lining. They reduce inflammation. They fuel your colon cells. They even send messages to your brain. Peace, safety, steadiness, all from a bite of beans, a spoonful of oats, a stalk of broccoli. You may think you eat alone, but every meal is a gathering, and every bite tells the zoo what to become. Eat mostly sugar and fat, the wrong kinds bloom. They multiply, demand more, disrupt balance. Eat variety, color, fiber, and the harmony returns. Think of food not just as energy, but as a playlist. Each ingredient sings to a different microbe. Apples may feed bifidobacteria. Garlic sings too. Lactobacillus, leeks onions, lentils, all coax different strains to grow. The more songs you play, richer the chorus. And diversity matters in the gut. Diversity isn't a luxury, it's survival. The more types of microbes, the more functions they provide. Like a bustling town with many trades, builders, healers, guards, scavengers lose diversity, and the system weakens. So every new fruit, every fermented bite, every sprinkle of seeds, it's a form of kindness to the zoo inside you. And they repay that kindness 100-fold. They make vitamins you cannot make. They strengthen your immune defenses. They keep your gut barrier strong so toxins stay out and nutrients stay in. They also shape your cravings, not by magic, but by sending signals, suggesting preferences. Some microbes thrive on sugar, and they nudge you to want more. Others flourish on fiber, and over time, Your taste shifts toward them. Your willpower plays a role, but your zoo has a voice. And you can choose who speaks louder by what you feed. There is no perfect diet, no universal rule, but there are patterns that nourish your gut. Fiber first, not just for you, but for them. Plants in many colors. Each shade is a different note. Fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, kefir, miso, living. Foods that bring new guests, whole grains and legumes, slow fuel for slow processes. Diversity, not perfection. But rotation. Switch things, try things, play with your plate. And just as important, regularity. The zoo likes rhythm. Meals at roughly the same times. Not rushed, not constant snacking. Let them digest, let them rest, let them prepare for the next shift. And, of course, hydrate. Water keeps their world flowing. But what happens when things go wrong? When illness strikes, when appetite fades, when antibiotics sweep through like wildfire, the zoo weakens, numbers drop, voices go quiet, but recovery is possible with time, with care, with food that nourishes life, not just fullness. Your microbiome is resilient, a forest that can regrow, but it needs seeds, it needs light, it needs you. So when you choose your meals, ask gently, who will this feed? Which part of me will this strengthen? What story will my gut remember? Because food is more than flavor. What's a message, a gesture, a collaboration you eat? They bloom, they protect, you thrive. It is one of the oldest partnerships on earth, older than agriculture. Older than speech, you feed them, they feed you, and neither can flourish alone. But not all microbes live in peace. Some test boundaries, some threaten the balance. And deep inside your gut, a silent struggle is always unfolding. Next, we'll visit the battlegrounds and meet the quiet warriors within. Your microbiome is not a utopia. It is alive with quiet tensions and invisible negotiations. Peace is maintained by balance, not by the absence of threat. Sometimes the wrong guests arrive. Sometimes familiar ones grow too loud. But your tiny zoo has guardians, and they fight not with swords, but with chemistry. Not every guest in your body is gentle. Not every microbe plays fair. Some come in quietly, riding a spoon, a breath, a fingertip. They don't ask permission. They don't always leave, but even those who've lived with you for years can become dangerous. Given the right or wrong conditions, because your body is not a sealed jar. It is an open field, alive with negotiation. And your microbiome? It is always managing the terms. We like to think of our gut as a peaceful garden, but all gardens face weeds. Some vines twist too far, some roots take too much. And nature responds. Your microbes. They watch each other. Some produce acids to lower the pH, making it harder for invaders to grow. Others release antimicrobial peptides, natural antibiotics, that target rivals while sparing allies. Even bacteria have enemies, and tools there. Are species that pierce neighboring cells, injecting toxins like tiny syringes. Others send chemical messages, coordinating like soldiers, swarming a threat before it spreads. You are not conscious of these battles. But your body is. Your immune system receives constant reports. Who's growing too fast? Where is the line being crossed? Is this a friend or a stranger pretending? In times of health, your microbes keep each other in check. There's no single ruler, but there is balance. Like a forest, there are predators, prey, parasites, and protectors, each with a role, kept in place by the others. But what happens when something disrupts this order? Imagine you take a course of antibiotics. They sweep through like wildfire, good and bad, balanced and dangerous, all are affected. The village is burned, and when the ashes settle, who returns first is not always who should. Pathogens, those. Opportunists can take hold. Clostridioides difficile, name as harsh as the illness it causes, often blooms in this space when balance is broken. But even without antibiotics, imbalances can arise. Stress changes your gut chemistry. So does poor sleep, a narrow diet. It's prolonged inflammation. And when the wrong species dominate, your gut may signal distress, bloating, cramping. fog, fatigue. Not every symptom has a single cause, but many trace back to the microbial chessboard even. In autoimmune conditions, some researchers now believe microbial imbalance plays a quiet part, teaching your immune system the wrong lessons, turning it against your own body. And yet, the goal isn't to eliminate the bad. It's to restore the balance, because even bad microbes may have a place, and kept in check. E. coli lives in your gut already, peacefully, in small numbers. So does staphylococcus on your skin. Only when unbalanced do they rise. Balance doesn't mean perfection. It means stability, resilience, room for challenge, without collapse. That's the quiet power of a healthy microbiome. Not that it's free of threat, but that it knows how to respond, and your body helps your intestinal lining secretes. Mucus, a slippery barrier that keeps microbes in their place. It also produces immunoglobulin, a silent sentinel, marking microbes not for destruction, but for monitoring. Your gut cells regenerate rapidly, shedding before danger can cling too long. And beneath it all, your immune cells wait, not with violence, but with wisdom. They remember past encounters. They sample microbial molecules. They strike only when the balance breaks. This is not war, it's diplomacy. Tense, complex, ancient, and you're not the general, but you are the terrain. You influence which guests feel welcome. You choose the foods that feed balance. You manage the rhythms that allow your protectors to thrive. And when things go wrong, when imbalance grows, you can help rebuild. Not by fighting, but by feeding peace. Diverse meals, fermented foods, sleep, movement.com. Time in nature. Even time with others, because human contact shapes your microbial world too. Your body is not a battlefield. It is a landscape of cooperation. And yes, of occasional conflict, but conflict does not mean failure. It means adaptation. It means remembering how to return to harmony, because the microbial zoo inside you does not seek war. It seeks balance. And it trusts you to help it find the way. But sometimes in our quest for cleanliness, we forget this truth. We scrub too hard. We sterilize too much. And in the next chapter, we'll ask, what if clean isn't always safe? We are taught to fear germs, to scrub, to sterilize, to remove all that's unseen. But a world without microbes is not health, it is silence. In chasing perfect cleanliness, we sometimes erase what protects us. True safety isn't found in sterility, it's found in balance. And sometimes, a little dirt is exactly what your body remembers how to love. Think of your earliest memories of clean: a lemon-scented wipe, a hospital room, white tiles, shiny surfaces, soap. Clean felt safe. Clean meant no danger. Clean meant good. But what if clean, as we imagine it, is not the whole story? We are surrounded by messages: antibacterial, 99.9% germ-free, kills on contact. And yes, there are moments when cleanliness saves. Surgery, wounds, outbreaks, soap and sanitation have changed history. But like all powerful tools, they can be overused and misunderstood, because not all germs are bad. In fact, most are not. Your skin, your gut, your lungs, they rely on microbes to train, to balance, to protect. When we wipe away all microbes, we don't just remove the invaders. We remove the guardians too. Children raised in hyper-sterile environments often develop more allergies, more asthma, more autoimmune conditions. Why? Because the immune system needs practice. It needs to meet microbes early. It needs to learn tolerance. Before it learns to attack, without exposure to harmless bacteria, it becomes jumpy, uncertain, aggressive in the wrong ways. It forgets what's dangerous and what's simply unfamiliar. This is the hygiene hypothesis. But it's more than a theory. It's an observation, seen in children raised on farms, in homes with pets, families that let kids get a little dirty. These children tend to have more robust microbiomes, stronger immune systems, and fewer chronic inflammatory diseases, because the body, like the mind, needs contrast to learn. It needs challenge. It needs exposure. It needs to build memory through experience, not trauma, but contact. Small, safe doses of the microbial world. So, what happens when we overclean? We strip the skin, dry out the nasal passages. We bleach the surfaces where beneficial microbes used to live. We create blank slates, and often the wrong microbes return first. Pathogens are opportunists. They thrive in empty spaces. They colonize where diversity has been wiped away. It's like clearing a forest and wondering why weeds return. Your body is not meant to be sterile. It's meant to be selective, to curate, to balance. There's a difference between healthy, clean, and hollow sterile. Clean is washing your hands with soap and water, especially after the bathroom. Before meals, after illness. Sterile is using harsh sanitizers 10 times a day on skin that wasn't exposed to danger. Clean is rinsing fruits and vegetables. Sterile is microwaving everything or fearing every spot of dirt. Clean is trusting your immune system. Sterile is fearing the world, because the world is microbial, and you are part of it. Even household dust is not just dead skin. It's microbial. Residue. It's fragments of nature, of pets, of plants, of soil. When you sterilize every surface, you erase the old conversation. You remove cues your immune system relies on, even in the air. We now know that homes with greater microbial diversity can support better health outcomes, especially if they mimic the natural world. Soil microbes. Plant microbes. Microbes from animals. It's not about filth. It's about life. Exposure doesn't mean recklessness. It means wisdom. Let children play outside. Let pets live close. Let your feet touch the earth. Let your hands touch plants, touch the world. Let it touch back. There's a word for this. Re-wilding. Reintroducing ancient microbial patterns. Into our modern lives, you don't need to move to a forest. But you can bring the forest in. Open a window. Tend a houseplant. Hug your dog. Eat food that came from soil. Even the way we birth matters. Vaginal birth exposes babies to essential microbes. Skin-to-skin contact after C-section can help restore some of that loss. Breastfeeding, touch, breath, they're all microbial moments, and they matter. So the next time you're tempted to sterilize every surface, pause. Ask yourself, am I cleaning or erasing? Am I protecting or overcorrecting? Because your microbial zoo doesn't thrive in silence, it thrives in song. In variety, in memory, you don't need to fear microbes. You just need to know them and to trust your body's quiet wisdom. It knows what to welcome, what to keep out, if you let it. And now as your body settles deeper into its patterns, there's one more mystery to unfold. What do you pass on to the next generation of bodies? You are not born alone. The first thing you receive isn't just a breath, it's a microbial gift. From your mother's body, from her skin and milk and touch, you inherit more than genes. You inherit life, seated in microbes. And with every hug, every kiss, every moment, you pass that gift onward. Before you ever opened your eyes, before your first breath filled your chest, you were touched, not by hands, but by microbes. Birth is not a beginning. It is a passing moment when one body gives rise to another, not just in shape, but in memory. And your first memory was microbial. If you were born through the birth canal, you were washed in it, bathed in your mother's vaginal microbiome, lactobacillus, alped, bifidobacterium, streptococcus, all clung to your skin, entered your mouth, began to populate your gut. This wasn't random. It was a seeding. It's a deliberate ancient moment. Because the womb is nearly sterile, and birth is the first great exposure. The zoo must begin somewhere. If you were born by C-section, you were touched first by the air. By the hands of doctors, by the skin of your caregivers, your zoo grew too, but it began with different guests. Skin microbes, hospital microbes, not better, not worse, just different. And over time, your body adjusted. It remembered what it needed. Then came milk. Breast milk is more than food. It's a message in liquid form. It contains sugars, oligosaccharides, that you can't digest, but your microbes can. Milk feeds the baby, but it also feeds the baby's zoo. It's a duet. You and your microbes nourish together. And if milk wasn't part of your path, formula fed you too. The zoo still arrived. It may have started slower, but it found its rhythm. Then came skin-to-skin contact. Every cuddle, every kiss, every chest pressed close. You weren't just receiving love, you were receiving life. Microbes passed like whispered lullabies. From caregiver to child, forming the earliest patterns of your microbial story, even the home you grew in mattered. Its dust, its pets, soil, its smells. Every wall held tiny particles that shaped your first immune memories. And you still carry that inheritance. Some microbes that first touched you are still with you now. They've changed, evolved, mixed with new guests along the way, but their lineage remains. Old friends and new seasons, and now you pass this forward. If you're a parent, a sibling, a friend, a partner, you are a carrier of invisible comfort. When you touch another, you share your zoo. You offer balance or spark change, even hugs. Our microbial moments, even laughter. We often think of inheritance as DNA affixed, unchangeable script. But your microbial inheritance is more alive, more dynamic, shaped by choices, by place, by people, and you can shift it, nurture it, rebuild it even now, through food, through time outdoors, through closeness, through care. In this way, you become not just an individual, but a bridge between generations, between ecosystems, between the world and the body. And when you care for yourself, you care for those who share your air. Because the microbial world does not end at your skin. You breathe it, you leave it, you share it with those you love and even those you pass by. We are constantly exchanging ourselves. Invisible threads, tiny travelers, moving between lives. This is why community matters. Not just emotionally, but biologically. Isolation starves our microbial diversity. Loneliness isn't just felt, it is lived, down to the cellular level. But connection restores it. A meal shared, a hand held, story told in close air. These are microbial acts. So what will you pass on? What ecosystem lives within your breath, your smile, your skin? And how can you shape it gently, lovingly for the future? Because your inheritance isn't just yours to keep. It's yours to offer, to gift, to plant like seeds, like spores, like stories. And the ones who receive it may never know your name, but they will feel it in resilience, in comfort, in the quiet calm of a balanced body. And long after you're gone, your microbes, your memory may still live on. You are not just a carrier of life. You are a host of harmony, an echo of ancient symbiosis. And in our final chapter, remember the greatest truth of all. You are never alone. You are not a single being, but a many-bodied self, part human, part microbial. Every breath, every thought, every heartbeat unfolds with your unseen companions. They are not separate. They are you. And in knowing this, you may begin to feel what has always been true. You have never, ever been alone. Close your eyes. Listen to your breath. Feel your pulse in your fingertips. You are here, solid, singular, human, or so it seems. But beneath the surface, you are gathering, a living constellation of cells and guests, a harmony of the human and the unseen. Your body is not a building, it is a forest. It's not one life, but millions, interwoven in you. Your cells carry your name, your face, your story. But your microbes, they carry time, they carry wisdom. They carry memory, older than men, your blood. Some lived in your ancestors. Some passed from hand to soil to mouth. Some came from air, from rain, from fruit warmed by sun. They came slowly, quietly, faithfully, and they never left. Your gut, your skin, your lungs, your mouth. These are habitats, lush, dynamic, alive. Microbes build your vitamins. They guide your immune system. They help you digest. They speak with your brain. They are not guests anymore. They are residents, co-creators, friends without names. When you are wounded, they help you heal. When you sleep, they stand watch. When you wake, they rise with you. You are not a host. You are a chorus, and each voice matters. We often draw hard lines. What is self? What is other? What is foreign? What is me? But your microbes blur those lines. They are not invaders. They are not separate. They are you. They shape how you feel, how you digest sorrow, how you recover from joy, how you meet the day. And they are shaped by you in return, by your food, your sleep, your silence, your touch. The microbiome is not a passenger. It is part of the driver it doesn't control. But you don't walk alone. Even your genes interact with theirs in whispers across molecules, tiny switches that turn on or off, based on who lives inside. Science once thought the self stopped at the skin. Now we know. The self is a porous, breathing landscape. It's always in conversation. And in that conversation, there is love. Not romantic, not conscious. But love as nature writes it, in mutual care, in lifelong presence, in the willingness to stay. These microbes stay through change, through illness, through growth. Through grief, they are your oldest home, your most constant community, your quietest keepers. And this matters, because when you feel lonely, when the world seems far, and your thoughts are heavy, remember, there are voices within you that want your peace. There is life inside you that sings when you sleep. You do not walk through this world alone. Even now, your breath carries them, your skin cradles them, your gut hums with them. They don't ask for attention, they ask for care. And in caring for them, you care for yourself. Eat the food that nourishes all of you. Sleep when the world darkens. Laugh near others. Touch the earth. Breathe in the forest. These are not luxuries. They are biological rituals, old as firelight, wise as soil. And when your time comes, as it will for all living things, your microbes will be among the last to leave. They will carry you into the earth, into the next cycle, into the soil where new life will begin. The forest you are will become the forest again. Nothing is lost, only passed on. The self dissolves. The symphony continues, and this, perhaps, is the most sacred truth. You have never been separate. You have never been alone. You never will be. Breathe in. Let the breath ripple through your chest, through your belly, through the hidden zoo within. Breathe out. And know that you are not just breathing for yourself. You are a world, a home, a story. And tonight, as you drift towards sleep, 1,000 lives drift with you, tiny, unseen but faithful, whispering, healing, holding. Let that comfort you now. Let it carry you gently into rest, because you are not alone. You never were. You never will be.